this video, I want to talk about a question we commonly get, which is, does Medicaid cover high-end senior care? And it's a great question. I think really the question that people are asking when they ask for this is, am I going to be relegated to some lower level amount of senior care if I go on to Medicaid? And it's a great question and it's a great concern, and we want to address it head on. So let's first talk about what Medicaid covers, because Medicaid covers senior care in multiple long-term care contexts. So Medicaid can help pay for care at home, Medicaid can help pay for care in an assisted living facility, and Medicaid can help pay for care in a nursing facility, okay? So let's start with a nursing facility. Medicaid can cover care in a nursing facility, and a lot of people don't realize that every nursing facility in the state of Florida accepts Medicaid. All of them. If they accept Medicare, they also accept Medicaid, and they all accept Medicare, except for there might be a couple of them out there that don't. But 99.9% of skilled nursing facilities, rehab facilities, accept Medicaid. And they cannot discharge a client because they go from Medicare or private pay to Medicaid. That's illegal by national law, actually, by federal law. So every nursing facility in the state of Florida has to accept Medicaid, so there is no reason to expect why you would get less care in a nursing facility. They're also not allowed to, they have to give you the same amount of care regardless of who is paying. And to tell you the truth, the doctors and the nurses and the CNAs, they don't know who's paying the bill. Only the administrators do. So you're not going to get any lower level of care just because you're on Medicaid in a nursing home. Now, I will say, the higher end nursing homes, even though they accept Medicaid, they will have a more limited number of Medicaid beds. In other words, it's going to be harder to get into them if you're coming in straight on Medicaid. And we have to be aware of that. So sometimes my clients are privately paying for a few months because they're going to work out a deal because the facility wants to accept some funds private pay first, or they're going in on their Medicare days, in which case it typically isn't going to be a problem because, again, they cannot kick someone out just because the method of payment has changed. So in a nursing facility, you're going to be fine, usually. Going down to a lower level of care, which is assisted living facilities, and that includes memory care. Now, in an ALF memory care, ALF or ALF with memory care setting, those facilities do not have to accept Medicaid. They're not required to, the way nursing homes, the way skilled nursing facilities are. So you may be in a situation where if you want very high-end senior care, you're likely not going to find an assisted living facility that accepts Medicaid. Now, I will tell you, there are very nice assisted living facilities that also accept Medicaid. So you can get high-end senior care in an assisted living facility and memory care setting, which also will accept Medicaid. However, it's going to be a little more difficult only because in an ALF setting, there's a rent component of the bill and there is a level of care medical bill, essentially, component of the bill, and Medicaid does not pay the rent. So a lot of my clients who want to be on Medicaid, because they still need to privately pay for the rent side, they're going to find it a little bit harder to find themselves in a high-end assisted living facility, even if that facility accepts Medicaid, which they don't have to. But again, I'm here to tell you, especially in Florida, especially in South Florida, where I'm based out of, there are very, very nice assisted living facilities that you would walk into and have no clue that they accept Medicaid, and they do. Okay, so it is still possible to get high-end senior care in an assisted living facility setting. Now let's go to home care, which is where a lot of my clients want to remain. They don't want to go to an ALF, they don't want to go to a nursing facility. Medicaid, the Medicaid waiver program, can help pay for home care. There's no limit to what Medicaid can cover. In other words, Medicaid can cover 24/7 home care, but practically speaking, they rarely do without a fight. Meaning they'll make you appeal in order to get all those hours, but we typically see them approve somewhere between 20 and 40 hours a week of home care, and then if we fight, we'll get them to 80, 100, 120 hours a week if necessary. So you can get all the care you need at home. And there are agencies that are very high-end agencies that, again, you wouldn't know accept Medicaid, and they do. There are agencies that we work with that accept Medicare, they accept private pay, they accept long-term care, they also accept Medicaid. However, to get really high-end senior care in a home care setting, even if you're working with one of these agencies, you have to be aware that because not everyone's going to want to fight to get all the home care hours that you might really need to safely remain at home, you might be in a situation where Medicaid's only covering, similar to an ALF, where Medicaid's not providing a full and complete coverage of all of your long-term care needs at home because Medicaid's only covering 40 hours a week. You need 50 hours a week, so someone's privately paying for all that care, for all that extra care. So that's actually one of the beautiful aspects of Medicaid planning, which is even if you're in a nursing facility, the bill is going to be fully covered for a semi-private room. But the beauty of Medicaid planning is you can get high-end senior care in a assisted living facility and in a home care setting where you want to get onto Medicaid before you're broke. You want to come to a Medicaid planning attorney like us before you run out of money, because if we can set aside the money in a way that's going to allow you to privately pay for the additional care that Medicaid is not covering, that's going to lead you to a high quality of life, that give you a higher end of senior care, that's magical. And it's really something that we're able to do all the time here in Elder Needs Law, and we serve the entire state of Florida. So I hope this answered the question. For those looking for high-end senior care, Medicaid can be a very important tool. It's just another source of money. You have your income, you have what you privately pay. For our veterans, there might be a veterans benefit that we can go after. Our widows of veterans, there might be a veterans benefit we can go after. And then Medicaid is just putting more towards that high-end senior care. Hope this answers the question. If you like this video, please share it. If you're anywhere in the state of Florida and you want to schedule a consultation, please give us a call. Thanks so much.